Hey guys, it's Melissa with Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. So today I was guided by the universe to talk about taking time to stop and just relax. I feel like we are all so busy every day. We are a part of that rat race. We get up early, we go to work, we leave work usually to rush to our children's sporting events or after school activities, or if you don't have kids, usually there's still something else you have to do after work. And you have to rush home and make dinner, get homework done, and whatever else you have to do around the house, and then go to bed and get up and do it all over again. And it just feels sometimes like we can get stuck in a rut, and we can also become overwhelmed and exhausted. And it's not easy, or it's not difficult to see why we do that. It would be easy to become overwhelmed and exhausted when you keep living the same routine day in and day out. And we're given, 2 days on the weekend to recover. Yet most of us also have things going on the weekend too that end up taking our time. So we need to be more mindful about taking time out of our day to just relax. I know it's difficult to do because we constantly have to go, 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 and our mind is racing about the next thing we have to do. But it is so important to just take that time out, even if all you do is just sit in stillness for 15 minutes. Taking that time for yourself will do a world of good for you. And it's so important because our bodies need that. Our mind needs to be resting. And I will tell you and admit to you that I'm the first one who needs to follow this advice, because being a single mom of twins was not easy. Life has always been, for me, on high gear. Like, I've been going since I can't even tell you when the last time I had a pace in life that I didn't feel like I was constantly in the fast lane and didn't even have time to slow down. And it's gotten a little better since my kids have gotten older, but it's still bad. I mean, it's still every day. There's always 50 things I have to get done before I can then lay down at night. And laying down at night, that's when all these things pop into your head. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. And I have to be mindful of taking that time to just say, no, I just need to relax, and I don't need to think about what's next and what I have to do next. I just need to sit in stillness and enjoy the quiet. And when I was just recently on a beach vacation, that's what really brought that home for me, because it was the first time in a long time that I just sat and I just simply was. I just allowed myself to simply be in that moment. And it was an amazing feeling. I didn't want to come home because I enjoyed that so much. I didn't have anything I had to do. I didn't have any place I had to be. I wasn't thinking about what I was going to do in the next 5 minutes. I simply sat in a lounge chair, listened to the sound of the waves crashing on the beach, felt the sun on my face, excuse me, and it was the most peaceful and calming feeling. And just that little amount of time did so much good for me. And it made me realize that I have to be better about taking care of myself. There's that old saying that you can't fill up anyone else's cup when yours is empty. But it's true, we have to take care of ourselves first before we can even think about trying to help others. And I know I've used this analogy before, but when you're on an airplane and they give the whole speech about the oxygen mask, they always tell you to put your own on first before you help your small child. And there's a reason for that. And the same goes with life. There's a reason you have to take care of yourself and put your own needs first sometimes. I've heard so many people say before, like, well, when you have kids, nothing else matters. They come first, and it's no longer about you. And that's not really true. I mean, yes, your kids are important. And yes, you're going to take care of them. But what I mean by that is you can't lose yourself either. And you can't not take care of yourself either. Put yourself last, because when you do that, you don't have anything left to give to your kids. You're going to live your life feeling drained, and then you're going to feel resentful. Seriously, that's what happens. You resent having to go to all of these events, and you feel tired, and you start dreading having to do the things in life that you shouldn't have to dread. And it happens because we allow it to happen to ourselves. We need to be better about asking for help, or simply saying, I need this 15 minutes. This is my time. Don't interrupt me just for this 15 minutes. And how many of us do that? I don't. Not enough. If my kids need me for anything, I'm there and I do whatever. And sometimes it's about saying, not right now. I need this time for me, and then I can help you. We need to learn to be good to ourselves, because we cannot be good to anyone else when we are totally and completely exhausted and drained. And I think about my own mom when I say this, because she is working 2 jobs and is supposed to be retired and works harder than I do. And has to take care of her mom. And she is definitely going to be drained if she doesn't stop. She has to take time for herself, and we all have to take time for ourselves. It's so vital and so important that you do that. And I guess the reason that I've been led to do this podcast again is because I don't think people are really getting the message. You have to slow down. You're going to burn out. We were not meant to live life at this pace. And yet here we are. You think about how life was 50 years ago. And how is it today? It looks very different. We are constantly on impulse control. Like, we're waiting for the next thing that's going to satisfy us, and we want it instantly. We want it yesterday. You buy a new iPhone and the next one comes out several months later, and you haven't even had yours for a year. The new thing's out, you have to have it. And that's what our society has become. We get impatient, and we don't learn to live in the moment and enjoy each moment as it comes. We're already on to the next thing. And I myself am very guilty of that. And I know that. And I've had to tell myself, slow down. I tend to get ahead of myself, tend to overthink, get ahead of myself, and then I'm like running around like a dog chasing his own tail. That's me. And it's my own fault, because I need to learn to slow down, to not get ahead of myself, to not try to do 50 things at one time, to not commit myself to things that I don't want to do. Those are all things that I can do. So what are some things you can do to relax? One thing you need to do is to make sure that you are not overextending yourself and your kids. I know so many people who have their children in 3 and 4 sports, and that's crazy, you guys. That's way too much. I know that you think that you're putting your children in these sports because you want to expose them to physical activity, they meet new people, and obviously if they get into sports, that's going to get them scholarships if they're good. I understand it. My kids played sports too. But I can also tell you that when my daughter became too tired, it became too much for her, and she burned out and totally quit the sport because it was too much. And that's what's going to happen. If you are constantly at practice every night of the week and seasons run into one another, you're not going to be able to keep up with that pace. And you're not teaching your child how to balance their life. And that's the greatest gift we can teach our children is balance. They need to learn how to be able to balance things. But if you're putting too much on their plate, they can't. And it's going to be overwhelming. And something's got to give. It might be homework at school. And it might be their free time that they have to socialize with other kids and do other things. But something's going to give. Because you can't keep that pace up. You just can't. And I've had that message on my mind for a long time, seeing these kids who just get dragged from one thing to the next. And they may really like all the sports they do, and I'm not saying they don't. And yeah, there are some great things about it. But they have to learn to pick and choose as well. Because as an adult, if you're teaching them that they have to do 50 things at one time, we're not helping them. We're not teaching them that they have to be able to keep up with their life. Like if they're trying to keep that pace as an adult, they will burn out. They'll get sick. You ever notice people who seem to get sick all the time? It's usually because they're those people who try to do too much. And it's all about balance. Just some advice. Try not to overextend yourself and get too involved that you have no time and can't keep up. Because that's not going to be good for anyone. And gosh, I only have 2 kids, but if you have more than 2 kids, I can't even imagine trying to keep up with that pace. Because I know that I always had times where I would have to try to be in 2 places at one time, and that was not fun. My kids would have, some would have baseball, my daughter softball, and it would be at the same sports complex but on different fields, and I would spend my time going from one field to the other, and it was like a good 2 to 3 minute walk for each field, and I would have to run from one to the other and back and forth, and that was exhausting. And it's crazy. And I think back and wonder how I am still here, because life was so hectic and chaotic, it was hard to keep up. So what are some things that you could do today to help you relax and find more balance in your life? What are some things you could give up that you don't necessarily need to be doing that may be causing you to overextend yourself and to be overwhelmed? If you really sit down and think about it, there may be some things that you do that you don't have to do, something that you could give someone else to do, delegate to someone else, so it's not all on your plate. You need to take some time out for yourself every day. Make a habit. Maybe take a hot bath at night while listening to relaxing music. Unwind. Go for a walk. Sit and meditate. Or even just sit for 5 or 10 minutes and do nothing. Practice focusing on your breathing, getting totally relaxed. You could do yoga. You could sit out in nature and get grounded. Relax with a cup of hot coffee or a nice glass of wine or a beer if you like that. or just taking time for yourself. Relax and curl up with a nice book. Whatever you do that you enjoy doing, take time out to do that. I thought that I would end today with a little meditation to help you get relaxed. So if you want to do this meditation, if you're in a place where you can get comfortable. If you're driving and listening to this while you're driving, you could still listen to it, but obviously don't close your eyes. We don't want to have an accident. But you could also come back to this later when you have time. So I just want you to get really relaxed, either sitting up in a chair or lying down if you wish. And as you get relaxed, I want you to focus on your breathing. I want you to take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, feel your chest begin to rise. And as you breathe out, just let everything go. And now breathe in again. As you breathe in, feeling your chest begin to rise, hold that breath just for a moment. And now let it all go. And as you continue to breathe in and out, you feel your body become totally relaxed. I want you to imagine that there's a beautiful golden light just above your head. And as this light moves through your body, you feel warmth and tingling, and you feel totally relaxed. It moves down now through your head, and through your neck, through the tops of your shoulders, your arms, into your hands and fingers, down into your chest, your stomach, down into the tops of your legs, and into your calves, and out through your feet and toes. And now your body feels so relaxed. It's getting heavier and heavier. And as you continue to get relaxed, I want you to imagine that you've just stepped into a beautiful garden. It's the most beautiful garden you've ever seen. You can feel the grass soft and cool on your feet. And as you look around, you see flowers of every color, trees of every kind. You hear the birds chirping. And you hear the water rushing from a beautiful brook. And in front of that brook is a bench. I want you to walk over to that bench and have a seat. And now just take a few moments to look around at that beautiful garden. Hear the birds chirping. Smell the beautiful flowers. Feel the sun shining on your face as you listen to the bubbling brook beside you. And just continue to breathe in and out, getting more relaxed as you look around your beautiful garden. Now you notice beautiful blue sky with white fluffy clouds. You look up at the sky and notice the shapes of the different clouds. And now you can stay in this garden as long as you like. But when you feel ready, you can slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. And slowly come back. And when you feel totally ready, you can open your eyes. And you can do that meditation anytime you need to, anytime to de-stress. It doesn't take very long, less than 5 minutes, but it's enough to center yourself, to relax yourself. Make sure that you're taking time out every day to be good to you. I hope that you will have a beautiful day and find at least 10 or 15 minutes to do something good for yourself. Put yourself first. You deserve it. I am sending you so much love and light. I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.